everyone. Hope everyone is doing well on this terrific Tuesday. I am coming to you live, and today I want to talk to you about the temptation to experiment with sex. I was thinking about my role as a teacher, and a lot of times I tell my students, this is a partnership. My job is to teach you. It's your parents' job to raise you, and it's your job to do the work. So as I choose to do these broadcasts, I'm not just speaking to the youth, and I'm not just speaking to the parents. I need for both the parents and the youth to come together and understand that this is a real issue and work together so that your young person, our young people, can make the right choices. So just want to look at the beginning, actually, of Chronicles of a Teenage Sex Life, where Cheyenne makes the decision to actually take the step to experiment with sex. And I'm just going to read a little bit. I'm not going to read a whole 200-page book to you. But basically what she's thinking is, she said, I was 13. My breasts had emerged from their hiding place, and I felt juices flowing from every orifice. It was time. I had had my virginity for long enough, and he was just the guy to take it. So I just want to talk about, at what point does a teenager decide that it's time to lose his or her virginity? What happens to make someone decide it's time for them to have sex? And I know the Christian views about waiting until you're married, and you can try that. You can go to your teenager and say, you're not supposed to have sex until you get married, and see how that works for you. Didn't work really well with me. My parents taught me that you are supposed to wait, but I did not wait. And the main reason why I didn't wait was because I was extremely lonely, and I also was extremely curious. I saw what was on TV and books, what my friends said, what I saw my parents doing. It just seemed like something that was the answer to my insecurities, my fears. If I found somebody that loved me and they had sex with me, then all my problems would be over. It's just this fantasy that's projected by the enemy, but we also help it along with the things that we do. So one of the things that I want to encourage parents to do is to talk to your child about how they feel about relationships. Ask them how they feel about love, how they feel about marriage, and ask them where they plan to go. Do you plan to get married at some point in your life? How do you feel about having sex? Is it something you're curious about, and why? And then talk candidly. When did you lose your virginity? What was that experience like? For Cheyenne, it was a very painful experience. She had to deal with the fact that it was not what TV projected. It was nothing like she thought it would be. It was hurtful, because guess what? When you lose your virginity, it doesn't feel great. So, like I said, my job is to shine light into the dark places, and that is one of the first lies that I would like to dispel. Losing your virginity is not a big, ooh, ah, you hear like the thunder roar and the lightning flashes, and all of a sudden you hear music in your head, and now you're just a woman, and you just feel so wonderful. You and your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, you're just going to live happily ever after. It does not work like that. One of the reasons why the church, your parents, adults encourage you to wait until your marriage is because till you're married is because after you lose that virginity, you lose a serious part of yourself. And if you give that to somebody who doesn't really love you, you have no one to love you through that process. You have no one to help you deal with the fact that you just lost your virtue. Your hymen is now broken and you bleed. So there is a part of you that you will never get back. That innocence that you had, you will never get back. It's just like in the beginning when Adam and Eve ate from the fruit, ate from the tree, they ate the fruit and their eyes were open. It's the same way when you lose your virginity. Your eyes are suddenly open and you realize you can't hold on to that fantasy any longer. This is real. And if you go through that with someone who doesn't love you, it can cause death in your heart, in your spirit. And it's really, really hard to recover from that unless you have someone to love you through it. And if you are a young person who has lost their virginity and you don't have someone who is very special to you, who can help you wade through the changes that takes you through, then you need to seek out an adult. Seek out someone who you can talk to. That may be a teacher, that may be a counselor, that may be an aunt or an uncle, but you need to talk to someone who can speak positively into your life and help you decide what's the next step. Because for Cheyenne, the next step was to keep going. The next step for Cheyenne was to continually have sex in order to try to grasp that sensation that she was looking for, to fill that emptiness that she felt. She didn't get it when she first lost her virginity, but she figured if she kept doing it, something was going to come of it. It had to. Everybody said it would. You know, this has to be the answer. This has to be why I'm so lonely. The only answer is to have a boyfriend or a husband or some significant other that's going to love me, and sex is a part of that. So I'm just going to go have sex and that's going to get me the love that I'm looking for. And that's how a lot of young people are thinking. So I just want to implore parents to talk to your children about this because it's very real and it's uncomfortable for both of you, I know, but I would like to encourage you to wade through the uncomfortable part to get to the rewarding part. My mom and I are very best friends, and it's because I threw this uncomfortable stuff at her. After a while, I decided I can't do this by myself. I have to have somebody to talk to. And after I've gone through all these dudes that were just using me, I had nobody left. So thank God I had my mother to talk to. And I went to her and I threw it at her. I said, guess what? I lost my virginity. This is what it is. And because she loves the Lord and because she loves me, she opened herself up to the uncomfortable feeling so that she can be there for me. She's my best friend to this day. And I still talk to her about the uncomfortable stuff. And because of that, I was able to maneuver through all the hurt, get the counseling I needed. And then, you know, I got 2 master's degrees. I teach. I'm doing what I have to do. And now I'm launching this movement because that's what it is. It's a movement. I was talking to my mom yesterday and we were saying, do they have ministries like this? Are there ministries that help the sexual health of youth? I don't know of any. And I tried to do a search today on Google. I was like, I can't find anything that specifically says we're going to help youth make better decisions about sex and we're going to help them work through their own emotions and struggles. Where are the ministries like that? Where are the programs like that? Who's going to help these kids deal with the fact that they want to have sex? They feel it. It's not a matter of some guy telling a girl, you better do this or else I'm going to break up with you. That's not the norm all the time. Sometimes it's just a girl saying, wow, you know, I'm a virgin. I don't want to be a virgin anymore. I'm curious. I want to have sex. I want to know what it's like. It looks like it's going to feel good. I want to try it. And they go out and do it. And there's no one to talk to say, hey, listen, it looks like it's going to feel good, but let me tell you what's going to happen. The first time you have sex, it's going to hurt like hell, and you're going to bleed. How many young people out there who have lost your virginity, how many of you had somebody to tell you that? I wish somebody would have told me that. Your hymen breaks, it hurts like hell, and you bleed. And if the man you're having sex with does not love you, he's not going to know what to do. He's going to get his, and he's going to move on. More than likely, he's going to move on. And you're left. You don't get that virginity back. I think it was somebody, I can't remember what comedian said, you can't do a pussy call back. You can't do that. You can't get it back. So I just want to implore you to really talk about these uncomfortable things. And I'm going to give a homework assignment to those of you out there that see this video. First homework assignment, I'm begging you to please share. I love the reactions. Share this on your Facebook page. Send it out so the message can be sent. I really want this to become a movement where we are talking to our youth about the decisions they are making. That is your number one homework assignment. Second homework assignment, if you are a young person, I want you to think about the decisions you're making sexually. I want you to take a minute by yourself and say, what do I want to do with my body? I mean, do I really, if you have your virginity, how long do I want to keep it? And if I'm thinking about giving it up, who am I going to give it to? Am I going to think about whether or not this person is going to be there for me after I have to deal with the fact that I lost my virginity? I need you to think about that. And if you're a parent, I really want to give you the assignment of taking some time to sit down with your child and say, hey, so what's going on with you in relationships and sex? You know, is there anybody you really like? I know it's uncomfortable, but I really want you to feel that you can talk to me if you decide you want to have sex. And even if they don't want to hear it, take the time to say, well, I don't know if you lost your virginity already, but if you haven't, this is what you can expect. And if you want to talk about it, I'm here. So those are your assignments. I'm asking you tomorrow if you did those assignments. So tomorrow I probably won't be able to post this time because for those of you who are teachers, you know, we're back to the grind tomorrow. So I'm really loving this. This has been on my heart for a very long time. Kima, you know, this has been on my heart forever. And Monique, you probably know too because you're on my step team and you know how I talk to my students. This has been on my heart forever. I've wanted to express the things that have gone on in my life in hopes that I can prevent young people from making the same decisions that I've made. And I'm seeing, my boyfriend said, you know, nobody has really tapped in to this, you know, and I think we really need to tap into this area that's not being addressed. We're so busy trying to treat the symptoms. We're so busy trying to stop teen pregnancy and trying to stop them from getting STDs. What about the fact that they are actually hurting and lonely and looking for someone to comfort them? If we deal with the root of it, there are so many other benefits that come along. Just think of what you can prevent just by sitting down with your teenager and talking about their feelings and coming up with some solutions. Oh, honey, you're lonely? You feel like you're alone? You feel like you're not loved? Let's talk about it. What can we do? And I want to take a moment to talk to you Christian parents. Do not beat your kids over the head with the Bible. You're going to turn them off. I was reading I love you too, Makina. I was reading an article in Christianity Today, and it said, I can't remember the author. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to quote it per se, but I remember them saying 80% of the youth that grow up in the church turn away from the church. And I'm convinced that it's because we're coming at them with this invisible God, and they're looking at a very visible world. One of the things that Cheyenne says in Chronicles of a Teenage Sex Life is like, I can't see God. I can't feel God. I can't hear him. But I'm lonely and I'm hurting. And I have no one to deal with this. So how are you going to tell me, serve God, serve God, serve God, Hika Messiah, go pray, it's going to go away? No, that's not how it works. Because guess what? There is this fine ass dude right there. And he is looking at me. And he likes my body. And now I feel some of that loneliness lift. Oh, look, he wants to take me out. Now I don't feel depressed. Oh, he wants to touch me. Now I don't feel alone. How do we combat that? You cannot combat that by quoting a whole bunch of Bible scriptures. And if you don't believe me, look at the statistics, look at the churches. Take a little poll of your own. Look at the young people who grew up and see if they're still there 10 to 20 years later. And see if you can keep in touch with them and see if they're still in church. I can tell you right now, I do not go to church. I was not accepted in the church because of my tendencies, because of my history, because I am so real and I cannot deal with things that are over spiritualized. I have to be in the concrete. I have to be in the real. I have to look at the devil straight in the face and scream out, this is what's going on. And a lot of times in the church, they like to gloss over the real problem to keep everything comfortable. And that's not going to work for our youth. That is not going to work because guess what? They haven't developed that diplomatic spirit yet. They haven't developed the need to be polite to everyone and make everybody feel comfortable. It's in their nature to shake it up. And that's what they're going to do. And thankfully, that's in my nature as well. So I'm going to be shaking it up. And I am encouraging you to shake it up with me. Please go to Amazon, Lulu.com, Walmart.com, or just Google Chronicles of a Teenage Sex Life. And please share these videos because it's not all about selling books. It's about getting the message out and saving a teen's life. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I see all of you. I hear the comment. Well, I'm reading the comments. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support, and I will be broadcasting tomorrow. I'll post up when I will sometime tonight, and please share, tweet it. I don't know. What's the other one? Snapchat it. I just started Snapchat, so I don't even know how all of that works yet. But thank you so much, and I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.